know. So this space used to be the Charles and Eliza Pinckney mansion site. So their mansion sat in the front of this space. Eliza's garden was lined up where that white car is and came all the way across. And back where those cars were parked is where the servant and slave quarters were for the home.
2.7.
Okay. So we're going to also escalate it.
2.3.
I don't want to know anything below 2.7 at this point. Keep the baseline going up.
3.3.
Perfect. So with that said, all of you communication device people, I am not going to be giving you questions here like what color was George Washington's white horse, like what we did over there with the big red barn. So you're going to get the answers from your spirit boxes. And again, I'm going to be giving you all those things. So you kind of hang on to those numbers for me so that way I want to get through the history so these people can get to work. So who the heck were Charles and Eliza Pinckney? They had a son named Charles. They had a nephew named Charles. Let's huddle in a little bit just because I feel like I'm shouting at you guys. So that's 3 different Charleses in case you weren't paying attention. So that's the husband, the son, and the nephew. That's 3 different Chucks. That's exactly why we look for secondary clues to verify who the hell's actually coming through. So with that said, the son and the nephew were signers of the Constitution for South Carolina. Big deal for us, but I hate politics more than everybody here. We're going to move on. Not to mention, it's the last day of Women's History Month, and it's mainly women. Sorry, Jerry, again. So, we're going to talk about Eliza. She has a much better history. Eliza married Charles at a young age according to today's standards. I say today's standards because if you're going to ask her how old she was, don't expect numbers like 12 and 14 from the colonial times that she came from when women actually got married. Think of today's standards. The reason I bring that up is because her husband was over double her age when they married. It was a creepy age gap in the 1700s, creepy age gap now, just so you know. But anyway, she married him because her father was over in England. There's people coming by, Janice, so you might want to pull over your camera. So her father in England thought that he was dying, so he's trying to bring all his children home one last time so he could see him. Eliza didn't believe he was dying. Instead, she stayed put and got married. 1744. You don't get married in that year to get a green card. We're not a country yet. She married him for love, and it's an actual love story, believe it or not, in the 1700s. And she was right. Dad didn't die right away. Instead, he starts sending her gifts from England to where we're standing right now. One of those gifts happens to be the plant seeds of indigo. You guys have been in town for at least a day. You've seen the word indigo somewhere. It's a plant that makes blue dye that makes our blue jeans blue. That's what we use it for today. When Eliza got the seeds, she didn't know what to do with them. She had to learn from her slaves how to keep it cultivated. It's obviously not warm here all the time for farming. When she figured it out, learned how to make the dye, she moves it to a cash crop, gets a hold of her dad and says, rice plantations are going downhill. We're going to make a killing with the indigo. And now we have an international businesswoman before we're even a country here. So, pretty big stuff. That's the boring business stuff. Let's get into the weird shit, because that's why you guys are all here, right? So here's what's going to happen. I'm going to go through each set of spirit boxes, and I'm going to give them a set of questions to focus on based on their devices, including the Ouija board and the word list. So if you're not getting answers, keep in mind, we probably have, I'm not going to count them right now, but at least 7 devices where communication can go to. So if Gretchen's asking a question, the answer might go to my audio, the audio of the camera, Mindy's device, any other device that can communicate. So don't get disgruntled if you're not hearing what you're actually asking about. They're going to reach and grab at those radio station pieces. Think of those things as Bumblebee from Transformers. So that's the way they're going to talk to you. The song lyrics. So, and I don't want to know that you heard Harry Styles. I don't give a shit. I want to know what Harry Styles was singing, if that makes sense. So, with your particular device, because it only gives us 1 to 2 syllable terms, the mansion's not here anymore. What happened to it? When did that happen? We're looking for a specific date, just so you know. With yours, we're going to have you kind of tread lightly on the children. So, I want you to ask how many children Eliza had and what their names were.
Oh, yeah.
Nothing else. The reason why. If we poke the bear about the children, there's a tragedy there. All activity will stop, including the EMF detection. So again, tread very, very lightly with the children questions. Yeah, that's a little too modern for me. You're looking for Eliza's initials on yours, so ELP, and I'm going to go through why the L in just a second. Gretchen, with yours, Eliza's death. How old she was, what she died from, where she's buried, what president was a pallbearer at her funeral. So that's the kind of questions I want you to go after. With yours, I want you to kind of go after the what happened to the mansion question again, because we do get the answers from that. But Eliza was the second wife named Eliza from Charles back to back. Both Elizas have a maiden name that starts with the letter L. Let's see which Eliza we're dealing with. So we have gotten both maiden names here in the past, mainly the one we just talked about, the second wife. But again, that's why you're looking for ELP on yours, Mary Catherine. So I want to make sure I'm getting names right. I think I have you all down. But at any rate, so I am going to keep any EMF detectors behind for just a moment. You're definitely going to get unmuted, video cameras rolling. I'm going to be bouncing around with everybody. I do have to explain the EMF detection to Lala for just a minute, and then what I do is I make 2 rounds with everybody, and then I regroup us to give you all of the answers and kind of see what else you guys found, and we can conglomerate on what was actually going on here. Keep in mind, somebody's trying to get in their vehicle over there, so Mindy, go ahead and get yours unmuted, and let's get you up and rolling so that way you guys can start listening. Jerry, definitely get some footage in here, so get that thing, make sure it's always, yeah, there you go. Before you hit the start button, make sure the camera's always on the left. The square means it's recording. Perfect. All right, everybody scatter. I'm going to start with Lala first, and then I'm going to have to go to Mary Catherine next.
Yes. I have a question. I just asking, when did you die, or say when did Eliza die?
You're speaking to Eliza directly. She's here.
Alright. So I say when did you die?
Yeah. And you can address her. Hey, Eliza. Just be respectful.
I'm not separated from anyone.
Yeah.
I'm terrified. Look at the crazy talking to myself.
You're not talking to yourself.
What?
You're not
Don't say that. Don't say that. Don't say that.
Sorry.
I was actually looking to retire this space because people were coming here at the US.
I feel awkward.
And I was getting very nasty. So,
Hey,
that's why I went with you, like, super out. What did you do? One of my biggest options. To go place you guys in there. Like, what you guys have to do. But I was being very respectful of your life and not being very respectful. So, here's a hard thing about it. The average life for this location.
What questions are we supposed to ask?
You're looking for her initials.
Am I supposed to ask questions? Or just look?
I guess you could ask. That's fine, I mean.
It was like the closest.
Again, going up to 25, 40, 60, like, fantastic. You get a 41 out of your class night, the highest person that place goes.
Mom is serious. She's talking.
I feel like if I took my mom here, she would make it a competition. She's like, I heard the most.
Hello, Eliza. Hey, girl. Hey. Hey, girl.
How did you die?
Alright, so I need. Mary Catherine.
Yes.
Alright, so because you're double fisted, come on over. Let me show you how to work those things. Like, relax. Have some fun. Yeah. So this guy is just kind of it's a safety measure. So I'm still testing it out. Have you seen any numbers come out of it yet? Okay, so again, it has different modes. I might switch it from time to time on you and kind of measure it different, but it is supposed to align with what Lala's device is supposed to be doing. So again, I'm still trying to learn like where the measurements go. Because it's got different types. So you get a 31 if you don't have anything, which is very interesting. Now, the Ouija board is. Below the red dot here, there's a little turnstile. So I had it turned down over there because you're near the electrical poles, and I just cranked it up. If you're getting every consecutive letter, like A, B, C, D, E, F, G, it's too sensitive. You need to turn it back a little bit. So counterclockwise, about a quarter turn, usually does it. But in here, I like to crank it up. In the event you get a full row, which you already have, I want you to take the big dial, turn it down to 6 o'clock, turn it off, and then back up to 9 o'clock, and you get a nice clear slate. What happens is it starts to overwrite the previous letters, and then we get false positives of an anagram.
Are you hearing
All I
me?
heard was 25 per gallon when I asked how did she die.
Okay. Okay.
Drunk.
Keep that in mind. Maybe something with milk.
Wait, what is yours called?
Orbs. I don't think so. I mean, there are little things that keep flashing.
Like, what did light show up as though?
Huh?
What did lights show up as? Like, is it just...
So it's just like, I don't know, like so.
Oh, okay.
You probably just said what's happening underneath the letter that showed up because it's going to jostle. You're going to walk around.
I feel like I'm doing this
You don't do that. That's going to be for anything inside of it.
You can,
Again, the numbers.
okay, I'm looking for Eliza. Thanks for having us here. Girl, I'm going to be honest with you. It's a little stressful because he said that sometimes people come in here and disrespect your space, and I don't think that's okay.
I'm not here to do that.
We're not here to do that. We're really trying hard to be respectful of your space and your situation. If you want to tell us anything, we would really appreciate that. So maybe would you tell Gretchen through this device?
Alright, so have you been hearing anything on there?
All I heard was 25 per gallon.
25 per gallon. So you heard a Get F-Side commercial.
Yeah.
Basically. So again, you have one of the hardest jobs out here. Just keep in mind, like, spirit box work is not easy. So you have the number 25. So I'm going to put 25 per gallon just because I need to know that you actually heard something out of it. And you will get better at this as the night goes on, just so you know. It's not an easy task. So it's a focused task. And you have an extra earbud. You can always share it with another person whose camera work isn't the most exciting thing when you're actually out ghost hunting. It's just somebody's got to be the camera person. So again, share your earbud, let her hear what you're hearing, and maybe you guys can capture something together. If that makes sense. Alright.
I have a quick question about mine. So I feel like I've seen footage of orbs before. I'm seeing like flashing things. I don't know if that's like a phone flashing in a bag.
So the flashing.
Uh-huh.
I want you to make sure you are not filming Miss Jana.
Okay, that's probably
her
it.
LiDAR technology is using flashlights that we can't see, but the camera can.
Gotcha. That makes sense. That makes sense.
Again,
okay.
That's a brand new camera,
cool.
so I haven't gotten my lingo down with it all yet.
Sounds good.
But yeah, definitely make sure you're not filming her directly.
Yeah.
And I tell her not to point her camera at you directly.
Okay, cool.
Now, the cool thing is tomorrow morning, when you guys get your footage back, you guys are going to see like a square of little tiny dots over technology. That's the fun part of it.
Gotcha.
That's how it works.
Yeah.
So it's a depth perception camera. That's basically all it is.
Cool.
So.
I heard the word relationship.
Okay, a little vague for me.
Yeah.
Let's find out if we get something more. You're getting the gist of it, which is good. So keep going. You got this.
This is stressful.
It is.
And is this something she should? Sure. Should we be asking like just direct questions, or is this something we can like just
You can just
chat?
focus on it. Whatever makes you guys comfortable.
Okay, cool.
So again, this is not. There's no exact way to do
Okay,
this.
sounds good.
So just have fun with it. That's the whole point. That's why you're here. All right. Let's go to that.
Okay.
I feel stupid listening to this. Every time I beep, my stomach drops. Oh wait, I just got
This is
pee
kind of
and it's spiked up to
overwhelming.
2.5. That sounds like, and then there's conversations going on. I'm like,
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna start talking to her again.
I got an E
So-
and it spiked up to like over 2 for speaker.
So, hey girl. Back on what we were saying about respecting your space. Honestly, this guy just said to have fun with this, and I think that's a little disrespectful to you, but that's just what I'm thinking, that's what I'm feeling. He did ask us to ask about your death and sort of the circumstances with that. But honestly, anything you want to tell us, we're open and we're listening if you want to share your story. I think he said we're in, like, the vicinity of your garden, which is cool. Did you spend time in your garden?
I
guess-
got a G. I died.
Well, I got it as soon as she said garden.
Oh.
But then I got an M right after.
Did
I
she
don't-
grow things that she ate in her garden?
Oh,
or
yeah,
is it
that's-
just pretty.
That's what I was gonna ask. What's like the circumstance of your garden?
I just got LP. That's the initials he said to look for.
Mm-hmm.
Hey girl.
She's gonna hit.
She's gonna hit it.
Enjoy the moment.
What?
Long way.
Enjoy the moment, long way. Well.
make money, the price.
She's smuggling. She had a problem calling us. She's selling it. Oh, dancing. I feel like I should have like a note. Look. I got page. What did I say? What's that?
She works hard for the money.
See, I'm telling you, she's running something through his garden.
Well, she was like the businesswoman. She was the international businesswoman. I hear you, Eliza. Working hard for the money. I respect that.
I can see it. Oh my god. Something go girl. She seems cool.
To prove your worth? I don't know
for sure what that one said. Eliza, you seem so cool, girl.
So, Eliza, I hear that you worked hard for the money. Was that, like, stressful for you? Was that a stress in your life, or did you maybe enjoy it? Okay. 25 again.
Yeah.
Well, she got married young. Did she die at 25? So, Laura asked Eliza, or whoever we were talking to, what color shirt we had on, and in a couple of words it gave us night, black, night.
I just got an N.
Right when it said
sand, but there's also black sand.
We heard 25 again.
And enjoy the moment. Or,
enjoy the moment.
Long live, or no.
Or
it was long,
like far away, something like far, long last or something like that.
Yeah.
And
then work for the money.
Yeah, she said she works hard for the money.
Yeah, she's playing that indigo.
Yeah.
She was an indigo girl.
We got work. Yeah.
We got work.
We got work.
We had work on that. Yeah. But then it
Artistic. Oh, we're hearing artistic, Eliza. Do you have any artistic passions?
Ask her what kind of. She's my medium, Eliza. Use the energy around you to tell us what kind of artistic talents you have. Tell us about yourself. Painting, sculpting.
She likes it. She likes it. Did you hear that?
Painting. She likes it. Painting. You like painting? Tell us.
I've got a TV.
Okay.
Oh, so you like Dua Lipa.
Pick up the phone.
So she said, don't pick up the phone.
Well, right, when you were asking about, like, her artistic abilities, I got TV, but it was, like, a long time ago, so I don't know why TV makes sense.
Who's Debbie?
Found Debbie found. You can be. Did you hear that?
And I was just like,
Nation.
I don't know. Debbie found nation. What did Debbie find in the nation? Girl.
What did Debbie find? Was it little Debbie?
Squeeze on it. Or is it? You heard that, right?
Come on in, ladies.
Does Debbie mean anything?
No. Not to my knowledge.
Eliza, looks like we're coming to a close. Thanks for having us in your space.
Thank you, Eliza.
So I think we're struggling a little bit with some of the spirit box work. So, and that's okay. Again, this is not an easy task. First off, and I will tell you, like the first time you ever use it, you suck at it. Like it just happens. So again, you
I did hear something about 5-year-old.
5-year-old. I'm looking at the number of 5 individually. Like, keep in mind, your guys' spirit boxes are slowed down. So if you ask what color is a big red barn and you get Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer, I don't need Rudolph the nosed reindeer. I just need the red. So when you hear things like 5-year-old or 25 cents a gallon, I'm looking at the keywords in those phrases, and that makes sense. So again, the number 5 and 25, 5 is somewhat relevant. I would do something else. So the birthdays of May, I think May, I don't know the exact numbers. So dead. It's vague, but it's even a stretch at this point until I have something else that goes along with it. But let's kind of go over the answers, and this will kind of give you a much better gist of how to listen to these specific devices for those of you that are asking questions, because we're even trying the question piece on the word generator. So whenever I break out the tablet, it's just kind of obviously give you some visuals to what we're actually working with here. So this is Eliza Lucas Pinckney. Maiden name being Lucas. The first wife was Eliza Lamb Pinckney. So Lamb and Lucas are the names that will pop up on the word generator. So this wife was 22 years old when she married Charles, and he was 45. So 22 and 45 are definitely numbers that we get all the time. Creepy age gap then, creepy now. It's definitely creepy to me because I'm close to Chuck's age, and my oldest daughter is Eliza's age. So you can see where it's creepy for me. Oh, by the way, Jana, we noticed in past investigations, I want to make sure like you're not pointing your camera directly. Who has it? Sydney. So her camera can see your light, and it's very flashy. Just so you know.
Well, I've been trying to pan around.
Yeah.
You know.
I figured it out. I can go in other directions. We're good.
Yeah, I've been trying not to concentrate on things.
So
Because I have seen look like figures over by the stop sign.
we're going to make sure it's not the stop sign. So
Yeah.
that's when I freeze frame everything and kind of go over it. So for those of you that had the question of what happened to the mansion, this is exactly where you're standing right now. This is what the mansion looked like. This is fire damage from the Great Fire of 1861. So when we get like terms like fire, burning, blaze, we will often get at least two numbers out of the date of when this occurred, 12/11/61. So obviously very specific numbers. Every tour in town is going to tell you about a fire because we've had dozens of them. This is the fire that took out the mansion. This is the map of Charleston. So it literally went from one side of the peninsula to the other. This is $5 to $9 million worth of damage. So why didn't the Pinckney mansion burn all the way to the ground? It was made of more material than just wood. So kind of keep that in mind. So the children, who has questions about this, right? So Anthony's on. Her name's Anthony. I don't know who Anthony is. I'm going to find out if there is any in the meantime. 4 children, grand total. If we start poking this there and we're asking about the tragedy of one of our children, she'll tell us the answer 3. I've seen it, literally. Happens all the time. So let's go over the 4 children very, very quickly, and we're going to move on to her death, wherever I find my zipper. So the first child, obviously, is Charles, right? Signer of the Constitution, so we already talked about him. The next one is Thomas, fought in the Revolutionary War battle, and was captured by the British after being shot in the left leg. So you can obviously see some of the keyword terms that we'll get when Thomas's name pops up. So left leg, British, those kind of things. And it was a Revolutionary War battle, so we will get the word revolutionary as well. Again, looking for true clues to make sure we actually have something to verify. Let's see, the next child is one we asked not folk to bear with. This is Baby George. This is where things get a little creepy. So, Baby George does not have a headstone or a grave. You can see that he was Baby George. He did not make it. We don't know how old he was exactly, whether a few days or a few weeks old, but the no headstone, no grave thing, there's a theory behind that. Back in those days, their religion would have allowed them to mummify this child and keep them right here in the home, waiting for the mother to pass away so he could be buried with her. Kind of a creepy thought to keep a mummy baby in their house, but that's the way things were done. So it's going to get even more weird. We talk about Eliza's death. One more child. Her name is Harriet, the only daughter. She married Daniel Horry. For those of you not from South Carolina, Horry County is Myrtle Beach, 2.5 hours north of here, by car. Eliza didn't have a car. So when Harriet does show up here, which is very seldom, we will get terms like quilt, ink, paper, published. Lots of letter writing between the two of them because she wanted to go drive up there. Cars. Eliza's death. So Gretchen knows what your questions, right? So she was 70 years old when she passed away in 1793. First off, I'd like to point out, that's a long time to be alive. The other thing is she was going to Philadelphia getting treatment for whatever they thought she had. It turned out to be breast cancer. We didn't know what breast cancer was in 1793. We're all based off the medical records now. She died in Philly. She's buried in Philly. She raised 2 questions in the back of all of your brains. First off is Baby George. If my theory is true, and by the way, don't go home and Google mummy baby and not expect a phone call from the government. That's a religious practice. If my theory is true, they would have transported him by horse and carriage from here all the way to Philadelphia. Most of you look old enough to remember the Oregon Trail game. Somebody's getting dysentery on that trip. That's a long trek. The other weird thing is if Eliza is up in Philadelphia, what the hell are we doing here? I don't take these are actual cemeteries because it's minimal activity at best. You guys aren't going to hang out near your graves when you're gone, staring at your headstones. You're going to go to your mansions 400 miles away, which is exactly why I bring you to spaces like this. I will tell you that this is one of my hottest spots on the route that I've been giving for 4 years, believe it or not, which is why I had you guys start here. It's an easy catch. So when I see like we have some struggles, I'm like, okay, once we give the answers, then you start to see like how these things start to tie together and how we're going to piece it all together through the rest of the evening, because this isn't our only stop. Who wants to take a guess at who the pallbearer was that was the president at Eliza's funeral? 1793 was the year. I love the blank faces. This is good.
Was it John Quincy Adams?
It was not Adams.
Jefferson?
Nope. All right. So let me explain. This is a good thing, guys. It was George Washington. At his own request, he needed to pay homage to Eliza because of her indigo. Help get the country started. Very big deal. But when we got here, I told all of you guys, I'm not going to give you questions like what color is George Washington's white horse? What do you have?
I've gotten contract twice, like 2 different times.
Interesting. Usually when something pops up twice, it's a screaming, like, hey, look at me.
Yeah.
So I'll see what else is around it, especially with the other findings that's going on. But with that George Washington question, I basically subliminally, put George Washington in the back of all of your brains, waiting for you to give it back to me while I was bouncing around with all of you, and you all passed with a fail. So good job. Notice that's the only question I gave back to you. I like to know who I'm working with to make sure the spirit box people aren't going to just repeat everything I say. Oh, I just heard George Washington. No, you didn't. So again, I just said it again. But here's how the next space is going to look like. So we're going to be going up to an alley. We're going to be going up this way. Those of you with video cameras, you will not be recording in between spaces. There's no point in capturing everybody's butt. So yeah, notice how all the other groups are going to be staring at us because you guys are using all the lights and gizmos. Yeah. We're going up and around by St. Philip's. It's a very popular horse place. We're going to stay at a point them at the other tours as they're going to be by. They didn't pay to get filmed like you guys did. So let's have some fun with this. We still haven't gotten a whole lot. I don't want to say like disappointed, but I'm at the point where like I'm not going to lie to you guys and say, oh my god, that 39 was super awesome. It was great. That just means we're missing stuff. So again, you guys got to get better at this. Hopefully the next space will actually get you to that point. But Mindy, definitely get yours unmuted as in between spaces. But once we start the history, I'll ask you to mute again. But again, any other major questions about dueling? Don't ask me the 350,000 rules there are to dueling. Like you can't insult your opponent's mother's dog, and that kind of like that's a thing, by the way. Like the dueling rules are ridiculous, and they're in old English. So yeah, it's very odd to read those. But yeah, let's get away from dueling and crazy.
And they're just 10 rules to dueling.
What'd you get?
I was talking about the 10 rules to dueling. Don't you listen to Hamilton? That's where I learned it.
That's so corny.
I know all my history from there. It's not funny. Pursuit. Okay. I'm getting a lot of readings this time. Like, lots of words. You know, the axe murder. Yeah. Murder, axe. Yeah. I thought about it. We'll wake up in the morning and see what.
Oh, these smell really good. Y'all smell that? Smell that?
Is it honeysuckle?
I don't think those are actually honeysuckle
Smells
because
like
I've seen
no,
those
you're right,
before
it's not.
and I've tried to.
Honeysuckle has stuff in the middle.
I've tried them before and it doesn't work.
Yeah, that you're right. It's not. It does smell just like it. But
I haven't seen ones like that since I was like a kid. Like every time I see one of those, I try to
which way not to go.
do it. Get the nectar.
Did you see when we were standing over by the mansion behind us, the big bar, the rooftop bar?
Yeah, that was like going
But that
up.
wasn't the rooftop bar, was it?
We're really far from that.
Area downtown.
I also
area.
heard that that's a swingers bar.
Oh,
Actually,
we should
yeah.
go on there. How fun.
But I feel like that's bullshit because I feel like it's also like an underage bar.
Right.
Like it's, well, not really. They're kind of strict there, but
But probably it's whatever gets people in the door box.
yeah. They're kind of new and weird and the vibes are just bad. I don't like it there. Don't you remember that? It was not a fun place.
Oh, wait a minute.
to
Was
be.
that the one? But yes. It wasn't. It was.
Yeah.
It felt very
It was
much
weird.
like a bar.
Yeah. A club.
Dawn, I got again.
Where'd you get?
Dawn.
You got it twice?
Yeah. That when we were standing back there.
Wait, hold on.
Oh, I went to a ghost tour that did a story there.
Oh, really?
But apparently it's like, there's literally
There
a
it
ghost
is. Yeah.
But apparently it's like intense and really really disrespectful and people get really mad about it. Yeah. Or the church does, because people would like go there and be like having services. But it's like a thing with like there's a graveyard like on the side of it, and there's something about a big tree.
It's like overwhelming. Is that pretty else? Yeah, I can do that.
Alright, what weird stuff do we got going on? Gretchen, talk to me. I need stuff from you.
It's really like nothing. It's just like a lot of sounds. Like,
That's what you want.
I know, but like it's not.
It's words. We're looking for words.
I've had Dawn twice over there.
How? What kind of dawn?
DAWN, just Dawn, like. Like when we were over there, and then over here, and then walking over.
Once.
Yeah, you had night.
Yeah.
There's lots of things.
That was weird.
I would say try the garage across the street, but it's normally locked by 8:30. Because they have a bathroom in there that I'll use if I'm down here early enough. I guess the only other closest place that you really need to go is going to be that bar.
For real, so she was asking questions. That's when it told us to exchange, and we did, and then she asked it what color shirts we had on.
It's like catty corner from right where we're standing. It's got the green on it. That's what you see from here. It's like a farm restaurant.
Not every letter.
Alright, I'll be back. She's going to the restaurant. Go with her. It's up to you. She'll be fine. She's going right across the street. Alright. Alright, huddle around. It's story time, everybody. Let's get through this. Alright, so, Jan, I don't think you're bothering anybody with that smoke. We got a lot of smokers in here tonight, so you know. You don't have to stand so far away. So first things first, we're going to be talking first why we're here. That little building with the crosses on it. Those are not crosses, by the way. Those are earthquake bolts. So earthquake bolts, if you're not familiar with them, they're basically turnbuckles. If we have another earthquake, like what I mentioned at the top of our time together, you can tighten them after the earthquake, and it's supposed to tighten the building back up so it doesn't incur any further damage. It's a great idea that doesn't work. So again, it's a very interesting piece, but it's part of the reason why we're here. Here's why we're here. Those earthquake bolts are the first set of earthquake bolts that Charleston ever put in. The reason why is because it's the oldest government building in South Carolina. It was finished in 1713. It's a museum now. So it's the powder magazine. It held gunpowder for 7 different wars. So this building was being constructed at the same time that Anne Bonny was coming to America to start her new life. So it's what I call a familiar. You guys have watched the TV shows where they use a teddy bear to attract a child ghost kind of thing? Same type of mentality. She would recognize this building. So let's get into Anne Bonny, because she's a little bit of a nut. So follow me. There's a lot of twists in here. I will slow down on a twist to make sure everybody gets them, because there's a lot. A young lady moves here from Ireland. Her name is Anne Cormack. She comes here with her father and his mistress. The mistress is Anne's mother. Is everybody with me so far? The 3 of them are running away from her father's angry wife. How pissed was she that they got to leave Ireland? Like, be nice to your ladies. That's all I'm saying. I normally tell the guys, like, don't piss them off. But anyway, they come over here and they land in Georgetown. That's just north of here between us and Myrtle Beach. Dad bought a plantation. Mom died pretty quickly. So that means he's sending young Anne down here at Charleston to sell things from the plantation to keep things afloat. Hence the familiar building. Again, she said to be spotted all over town. We're hoping she's going to be here at the same time we are. So, young Anne back home in Ireland was kind of a badass even back then. They say when she was 7, 8, 9 years old, remember this is pirate lore, that she killed a servant with a knife to the belly. So we have had the terms servant, knife, and belly all show up in the same evening, just so you know. Fast forward, building 713, by 1715, pirates are coming through town. Anne is stoked. Why? She's going to fall in love, so she can earn her freedom, just like a man. It's a man's world at this point. So, first guy she falls in love with, James Bonny. You already see where this one's going, right? We've already mentioned her pirate name. Dad didn't approve because he's a filthy pirate. They ran away to Jamaica. They got married. Anne Cormack became Anne Bonny, the famous female pirate. However, James Bonny is not the Captain Jack Sparrow that she was hoping for. This guy turns out to be a privateer. He's a spy for the British. This is not who she wants. He's a coward. She falls in love again. Guy number 2. We're going to count him up. Guy number 2 is John Rackham. This is Calico Jack, is what they call him. That's his dubbed nickname. They call him that, and I'll explain more later. But this is the guy that they based your Johnny Depp character off of, Calico Jack. So Jack has his own ship and his own crew, and wants to be part of that crew. She wants to be a pirate. Can't put a girl on a pirate ship. Does anybody know why?
Too many men?
No. Think family friendly.
Because she has a rack.
Right. What was it?
Said rack, because she has a rack. Guessing it.
It's funny because that is actually a thing with Anne Bonny. And I normally explain at the end of the, like when I'm giving you the answers, there's very few pictures of her with a shirt on because she used to bare her breast to show men that they were just killed by a woman. Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Again, I don't know that she would know the term rack coming from the early 1700s, but who knows? It is kind of a thing. Anne makes a deal with Jack. He basically states that if she dresses like a guy, she can look like the crew, she can be part of the crew. She takes him up on the offer because back home in Ireland, Dad used to cross-dress her as a boy apprentice to hide her from his wife. She gets it, let's do this. But she's a female in Jack's quarters. Let's put two and two together. She's eventually going to get pregnant. You can't have a pregnant pirate dude on the crew. Somebody's going to figure out that she's a girl. So he drops her off in Cuba. Have the baby, come back later. These are friends of mine. We'll figure it out. So she goes and has the baby, but returns without a child. We have no idea what happened to the baby. So all of my research, I can't find it. Anyway, she comes back dressed as a female. This makes Jack pretty pissed off. And while she was away giving birth, he captured another pirate crew. They're down below deck. Guy number 3. She's going to go flirting with that pirate crew to make him even more mad. Guy number 3 turns out to be a female, dressed like a guy, to be part of the pirate crew that Calico Jack captured. So now we have 2 females, dressed like males on the same ship, trying to be pirates. This young lady's name was Mary Reed. She went by Mark Reed to become a pirate. Her and Mary became friends, possibly lovers. We're not going to really know for sure. Welcome to Friday nights, everybody. People screaming, and now I have to scream at you to give you the damn history. Normally I make it all dark and creepy and low voice, but anyway. But her and Mary became friends, but the British found out where they were, so they sent an entire fleet of ships to come take down one pirate ship. The rumor is that Anne and Mary were the only 2 pirates that were not drunk enough to come up and fight with 1-bullet flintlocks, probably because they didn't know how to use the cannons yet, because they weren't pirates for very long. They get captured because 2 ladies with flintlocks are not going to take on a whole fleet of ships. And as they're being arrested, she looks at her captain, her beau, Calico Jack, and she says, "I'm sorry to see you here, Jack, but if you would have fought like a man, you wouldn't have to be hanged like a dog." The word dog shows up here a lot. The judge wants to see the 2 quote-unquote men that fought back so valiantly on their own. He's already tried and hung Calico Jack and the drunk pirates that wouldn't fight. They're dead and gone. 2 ladies go in front. They reveal their gender, hoping to save themselves. He doesn't give a shit. Hang them. "We plead our bellies," was the last thing they screamed out to him, because you cannot hang a pregnant woman in 1720. It's illegal. So he sends them both back to jail, delays the hanging, but Dad is up here in South Carolina with all of his Irish money. He was an attorney back home, so he saves some cash. He bails out Anne, brings her back home. She remarries. That's husband number 2, but guy number 4. We're going to count Mary. We don't really know. She has 4 kids, dies at the age of 84. Yes, very abrupt ending because we don't know much about her after her pirate career. There's rumors that she went to Virginia. We have no idea where she ended up. Mary Reed died a year later in that Jamaican jail from whatever pirates die from in a Jamaican jail. Use your imagination. Most books and articles will tell you that it was something simple like fever. I call bullshit on that one. It was probably scurvy. Let's make it romantic. Why the hell not? It's pirates. So, questions you can ask here. I'm only going to give you a small amount. You guys cherry pick whatever you want to ask. This is a pirate and not a prominent English woman. Know your ghost? We can poke the bear here a little bit. Let's get some damn answers. We can get you guys listening to certain things. So Gretchen, we got to really get you focused on what's going on. So, 2 things I left out of here on purpose, just so you had something to start with. The names of Anne's parents. That's the father and the mistress. I left those out on purpose. Do I know them? Of course I do. The name of Calico Jack's ship, I also left out on purpose. Everything else is fair game. You can ask Anne Bonny where she came from, the color of her hair. These are things that we've gotten answers to in the past. So with your camera, this is the location where I caught the biggest orb I've ever seen. It was bigger than my head and was an intelligent orb. So again, giant. Still haven't been able to debunk it with any kind of light fixtures or anything like that, like craziness. With the EMF detectors, I don't expect readings on the back, or the back half I'll be excited about if you get readings, but the closer you go that way, 2 electrical poles in the corners, parking meters on the other side. You're going to get anywhere between a 3 to a 6, just so you guys know. It's the back half where I'm going to be excited for those kind of numbers. Thermal imaging camera loves to act up in here. Let me know if you get any glitches or any kind of white, like the old style snow. So let me know if you see any of that coming through. But yeah, let's spread out. Let's get this party started. And remember, you're going to hear things from the doctor story as well.
I got axed twice too, just so you know. I got dawn twice. I got axed twice.
Listening to radio stations the same way everybody else is. That's what these numbers are here in the top. It's the hertz of the stations. So if it recognizes something out of its 9108 word dictionary, it pops it up on the screen. So that's how this thing actually works. So it's just doing their job digitally.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
Again, they're not going to
weird.
hear as
Yeah.
much. They're not going to give me 90 terms tonight. So
Right.
that's why their ratio of accuracy is a little bit better than this guy. So I focus.
He's
Like, I mean, I've been doing this a long time. So I know the ratios from each one of what I'm going to
Right.
get out of it.
Right.
And I study it. So
Yeah.
I'm kind of seeing, like, what are the patterns? What are the things? And we have a night like tonight where we're struggling. We're just missing stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I was actually expecting, based on some of the solar flares that are going
Yeah.
on right now and the moon phases, like, I was expecting, like, a mediocre night.
Right.
Like, right
Right.
now, we're super light.
Yeah.
Like, this is not what I normally see. So, again, we're struggling
Okay,
hard. So
okay.
hopefully things are going to pop up on the cameras. And again, I don't always follow up with the small cameras because
Yeah.
it's small.
This is a glare, right?
It's moving with the cameras.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, that's what I thought.
It says point it in the right direction. Said.
Okay.
And that
Okay.
is fun to use just for shits and giggles.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah. And like literally talked about getting kicked out, and it went discipline. I was like, okay, all right.
And you have to also remember, I'm in these spaces 5 to 7 nights a week.
Right.
So they know I'm coming.
And you're calm. Yeah.
Yeah, I know what I'm doing. I'm not
I
worried.
love how you interpret things.
I do. Well,
And you can make a story out of the whole thing if you really want to.
Oh yeah, and you're the person to do that.
Oh,
I
yeah.
feel like
Oh,
you
yeah.
could make the story. Maybe the axe is picking up on. Remember Dad's axe murderer driver's license?
That's
Connect.
exactly what it is.
It's like you're that lady.
Oh, it's like, oh, dude, I'm so sorry. and it's saying dawn. It hasn't dawned on you what a crazy person you are. What all is that?
What's going on? What's going on the radio?
We heard people, Volkswagen, Jesus. Oh, the other thing? Future.
Teacher? Future?
Yeah, future.
Oh, okay.
But we said how did,
barely
or
had
what did you
any.
do after your pirating days?
Ask basic questions. What color's your hair?
You do it.
Hey, I'm Bonnie. What color's your hair? We're just doing some baseline checking. You tell them on this little radio device.
It's like warm, but
One. What about parents' names? What are your parents'
yeah.
names? And Bunny.
she seems like a baddie. I love her. How
Yeah.
wow. Okay, I got a K when you asked for the parents' names. Don't know if that means anything.
Okay.
KS.
KYS.
All right, Aunt Bonnie.
Girl, you crazy.
The random music just really.
I know they're saying stuff, but like I can't.
Like that? Like I don't know what song that was. Don't know what they were saying.
Can I have a listen?
Yeah. I heard self. Is yours?
Be careful.
So many devices.
Okay, we gotta ask her something.
Yeah, but what else? Like, oh, what happened to her baby?
Oh, ooh, yeah. Go right there. Maybe she'll respond to that.
Hey girl, hey Bonnie.
Okay, Annie girl. I assume you know what baby we're talking about.
Yeah.
Baby, that was dumb.
I don't know. It was demanding.
Where are we going?
No. Okay, have this back. I don't want it. What?
Speaking of Spanish.
Yeah, it's like. Well, she got
Sweet
dropped off
dreams.
at.
Sweet
Stop,
dreams.
stop, stop,
Sweet
stop,
dreams.
stop. I don't like this.
She got dropped off in Cuba. That's a Spanish-speaking place.
I don't see.
But how's that go with Sweet Dream? Like sleeping?
Maybe sweet dreams, like baby's asleep.
Maybe died in sleep. Or she just like left it.
Or someone took it while she was sleeping.
Oh my god, like Tangled.
Tangled. She is the lost princess.
She was found.
We asked about
The baby.
what happened to the baby when she was in Cuba. It started speaking Spanish.
And then we got Sweet Dreams and Eyes Closed. Or wait.
What did you get?
Something like
It
that.
said,
Yeah, it was like Sweet Dreams and Eyes Closed.
One pass
It said no
And it
visiting.
said, where are we going? Oh my god, remember when it said, where are we going?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it said no visiting, right?
Oh, it said stop visiting.
No,
Did it?
That one was questionable. Hold
Yeah.
on.
One of you said something. I haven't had anything since chaos.
That one spot over there I was walking, that's the only time it went up. It's been on like 0. 2.
Installation. I've had that for a really long time. I don't really know what that means.
Well, I feel like this isn't a good spot.
I think it's over here.
Okay, and
I just got K
give
again.
us any significant name, please.
Y'all come over here. Because I got like a heavy feeling over there. But this didn't go off.
Yeah, that radio thing was hurting my ears.
Every day.
Demi Lovato. Blinded by the light. It's the weekend.
The wireless going crazy.
We asked what happened to the baby, and then it started speaking Spanish. Like it was like
Well,
something.
they did go to Jamaica.
Yeah, and then we heard Sweet Dreams and Eyes Closed.
Interesting. So it's like it was telling you a story. I like it. It's vague, but I like it. It's not direct.
We tried to ask the name, just nothing.
Oh, well, you got K and S after
yeah.
we asked about parents' names.
No. Sorry, you guys got my wheels spinning. Sweet Dreams, Eyes Closed. And what was the other piece you heard?
It was
Spanish
just
speaking.
Spanish.
Oh, yeah.
But if, yeah,
What's
if that was
funny
in
is that's a
Cuba.
common thing that happens here. Like, you're not the first person to tell me that.
Yeah.
All right, any other letters showing up?
That's all I've got.
Yeah, a whole lot of, looks like a prescription. All right, what about you two ladies over there? What do we got going on? Anything?
Told us to change, so we switched.
Switched again?
Well, it said change.
Any numbers?
The only numbers I got, the highest was 4, and it was over there, but it's been 0 the whole 4.
Your zodiac sign? Okay, Aunt Bonnie, what's your zodiac sign, babe?
Astrology.
That's interesting. I don't know who that is.
Sounds like
Bread?
Yeah.
Bread is her astrology sign. Queen. Same.
Gotta get that bread.
What are you getting?
So, remind me when
72255.
I heard, yeah.
why that might actually be possible.
Okay.
That's very interesting, especially if it's
What did
What
I say?
end?
72255?
William. Yeah.
so
Okay.
there's a
okay.
will
Oh, gotcha. There was a will from somebody else.
and the Leo.
Okay.
It's almost like it's split.
Yeah.
Wait, 72255. We asked. She said that after we asked about zodiac sign. I wonder if that's like birth dates.
It'll be interesting if I find it in the morning.
We got a 72255.
The 7 is relevant here.
Okay. Yeah.
2255 is something, or no?
Body.
No.
Oh.
We did ask about her zodiac because it said zodiac sign,
Yeah.
so we said zodiac. I don't know if that relates to birthdays or anything.
Over the ocean.
Why are we singing?
Where's the body, Bonnie? Where's your
What?
body?
The body. The axe, guys. I'm telling you. Axe twice murder. Now we're talking about body Nick. Come on.
Hey, Annie, if you're here,
Correct.
put axe. and
Reach.
say axe one more time.
I got reached.
All these people's energy and say axe one more time.
Rinse and refresh.
Like refresher questions?
What were we asking? I don't know. What happened?
What were we
to
trying
the
to
baby?
learn? Oh, yeah.
Hey, Miss
Yeah.
Girl.
Can you
We
tell
just-
us
we
more
just
about the
want-
baby?
A little bit of info on the baby.
One more time.
Un baby. Un baby. Can you tell us anything about life on a pirate ship? For you.
The songs are pretty. Not a nurse? What is that?
Okay.
Not a horse?
After we cut?
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Not a nurse.
Oh, Charleston. That makes sense on a radio station.
You're not a nurse. I feel like nurse is a stereotypical woman job.
Start.
Yep.
Hey, girl.
Should we? Let's not go ghost me. I'm not doing this. He's like, right.
I haven't really seen anything on this.
I thought I saw a little orb, but it was like staying in place. I thought it was just.
Yeah, if it moves with the camera, it's not. I asked.
That is a good idea.
Heh.
Don't know what good idea
Oh.
is referring to. Yeah.
That said, that's a good idea.
Yeah. To move?
Oh.
No.
Are we moving in the right direction?
Yeah, are we moving closer to you?
Hearing, seeing, feeling, anything cool?
No.
Nada.
I wonder if we're gonna go to that one.
Oh, yeah.
Uh-huh.
It was classic.
Because people have like caught weird pictures on their phone. I don't remember the exact story, but it's like there's like it's something about a grave and a mother, and someone's like literally caught a picture where it like looks like there's someone over where the grave was.
Maybe that's what the body's for, because of the cemetery over there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, maybe.
You cold?
All right, Gretchen, what else you got? Anything? So, interesting thing about what Gretchen heard on her spirit box, it was almost like it was telling us a story. It's very interesting. I don't think I've ever had it happen that way, but again, everybody listens to those differently. She asked what happened to the baby from Cuba, the one that we don't know about. And she heard it was eyes closed and sweet dreams. So I find it very interesting that it was almost like it was telling us a story of like what happened to the child. I don't know if the baby was just left with the family that helped her, birth the baby. I have no idea what happened. So again, we might have an answer. I can't prove it, but it is an
It
interesting
also was
thing.
speaking Spanish after we asked that.
We also had the name Liam showed up, and I'm going to explain that here in just a moment, but let's kind of go through the very quick answers, and I'll explain the next phase, because it will be our last stop, and we're going to be trying something as an experiment to try to help out this investigation that has been very, very light tonight. I think I told you guys at the beginning, I don't make anything up. This is pretty weak. So again, what we're finding is very light, and it's kind of a stretch on most things. So as far as Anne Bonny goes, one of the few pictures you can find of her with a shirt. The reason why, she's the bare breast to show men that, again, She was just killed by a woman. So kind of keep that in mind. So that's one of the few pictures you can find of her with a shirt on, and I get a lot of teenage boys. I don't need angry moms leaving. The names of her parents: William Cormack, Mary Brennan. This was not another subliminal trick looking for Mary, because we had two. Just so happened we had two in the store. As far as the name William goes, we did have the name Liam show up on the word list. So the interesting thing for me is that that is part of William. So if there's a will on Rosalie's recording, and I happen to stumble across it, we might actually have a split word. Now, I've had split sentences go to different spirit boxes, but I don't think I've ever seen a split word before. So again, the name Liam just kind of caught my attention. And normally, the names Mary and William come up under one phrase from one spirit box. So Gretchen would come up to me and say, hey, I just heard the names William and Mary. Like, it usually comes up out of one. So it doesn't go like you heard William and she heard Mary. It always comes to one person as one phrase. It's very interesting. Calico Jack. Everybody wants to see what they base Johnny Depp off of, right? So, this is Calico Jack. They named him that because of his jackets that he wore. They came from British captains that he killed. His father was a tailor, so textiles were very important to him. So these British captains wore very fancy coats. Calico Jack stands for fancy jacket. That's where the name comes from. So, the name of his ship that you guys may have been asking about was the Kingston. I don't expect Kingston to come through Gretchen and Rosalie's spirit boxes. Mindy's, on the other hand, yes, that's going to pick up more disembodied voices than any other spirit box we have out here. So that's the interesting thing. If you guys had the word king show up, even on a spirit box or the Ouija board, or you guys are getting my gist, it's using the technology that we have with the word and phrasing that we're using from the radio stations. DJ's not going to say Kingston, but he might say King Street, if that makes more sense to you. I would be more excited about that than looking for the word Kingston. The next space we're going to, by the way, any other crazy things that you guys want to know about pirates? Again, I've read more damn books on pirates than I ever wanted to in my entire life. There is Blackbeard lore here. We did hear the phrase up the street, and we do have the pirate house on the other side of that cemetery. So I'm going to be seeing if there's anything tied to that up the street and a tie with Blackbeard, because that's where his men used to go to hang out. Blackbeard would actually stay on the ships. The only time he's ever set foot in here was when he raided us for medicine because he had syphilis from one of his 14 wives. So, again, he did raid Charleston at one point. There's a lot of pirate lore here, unfortunately.
He died off of Wilmington,
so, again,
Cape
vampire
Fear.
guy, not a pirate person. Turned into a pirate person. Like, I even play video games with pirates in them now. Just to get a different version of the story. But anyway, back to where we're going next. So, again, I hate to say a disappointing thing of, like, this has been a light as far as activity goes, but, again, you're learning weird history. The next space we're going to is Washington Zone. Yes, I use disposable blindfolds too. Eye wax is gross. When you open this guy up, keep in mind you're going to wait to put this on until we come over. So there's no reason for you to be blindfolded while I'm telling them the history of the space. You're going to rip this guy open and then open it up where you can see the two eye patches, but it's 2-ply. So you have to lift up the middle, and then there's a tear spot, and it'll go over your ears. It's not a full wrap around your head. So that goes to you. You'll use that once we come back over. I'm also going to give you
I think it's a Confederate memorial. Yeah.
It's not so pretty.
Yeah.
You getting anything?
I got a 12 when we were walking in.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Hello?
This is how this is going to work out. Where she's not going to know anything. And I'm going to take you guys to the history, and I'll be preparing questions, but I'm just going to film this for her. Again, if it's a good session,
I don't know where I put it. There's a couple different pockets.
all kinds of things in this location,
Take a look.
including EMF spikes over 100. I think the highest spike we've seen is about 162 at this point. And it's completely random, just kind of occurs out of nowhere. It's usually in the grassy knolls, but it's never in the same spot. It's kind of a weird thing. This is a very interesting space. We have caught anomalies with the SLS camera here. It's also the reason why we have the SLS camera. Back in December, a gentleman actually brought the big chunky one on the tour, so he wanted to play with it. It was a brand new device for him. We actually had a full 8-minute interaction inside that bust, which is the ghost that we're going to actually be investigating. When I say 8-minute interaction, it was a, hey, if you're here, raise your right hand. We got a raise of the right hand. The only way that stick figure disappeared, the only female in the group went over and outstretched her hand and offered to shake his hand, and he disappeared. Know your ghost. He's from the 1800s. It was probably disrespectful for a female to walk up and offer her hand to be shaken that way. So again, you got to know who you're dealing with. So you guys chill. I hate to say this, but this is a no smoking park. There's a lot of smokers here. So I'm going to take the rest of the group over there. I'll be back in like 5 minutes. So hang out,
damn,
chill.
that's me.
Yeah, unfortunately. Alright, everybody, gather around, gather around. I will kind of keep my voice pretty low so they can't hear us. Like buried in the bottom. You okay over there? You sure? Yeah. Alright, so first time I came here, no clue what the hell we were going to find. Look around, there's a lot of memorials. I didn't know who was going to come about. What was found was somebody heard the year 1828 on a spirit box. The name Henry and the name Tim showed up. Behind me is a bust of Henry Timrod, born in 1828. Now I knew what my story was going to be. I change the story every year. So I add something and take something out. This was an experiment. So here's how this goes. It's very quick and very brief. It's not going to be a big, long story like Aunt Bonnie's, because I know a lot of the yawns come out of you guys. So, anyway. The guy was sick through most of his life. Obviously, being born in 1828, he was old enough to go fight in the Civil War, and he wanted to for the Confederate sign. He was actually born here in Charleston. So, he goes out to fight. His friends realize that he's too sick to fight. They send him home and say, go be the voice of the war. This guy's a poet. They wanted him to write about what was going on the battlefield. So he did that. He came home, started becoming famous with his poetry. He became known as the laureate of the Confederacy. For us writers, that's a pretty prestigious title to have. Now, a few years after he comes home, he has a son. You guys are going to know the name of the son, his birthday, and how old he was when he passed away, because it was very tragic. His name was Willie. He was born on Christmas Eve, and he died on October 23rd, a year later. He was only 9 months old. So, again, these are the questions I'm going to be asking when I get over there. So, he's mourning. A few years go by. His buddy calls him up from college and says, you know what, you've been mourning like crazy. Why don't you come up to my cottage and work on the piece you're supposed to be working on to get back to work? So he took him up on the offer. His cottage was in Columbia, right in the middle of the state. So he goes out there. That's where he writes his last words. His last words were, beholder of brief mortality. Translates to person of short life. He coughs, and it lands on the page in a blood stain. He had tuberculosis. So that blood stain, however, looks like a man writing at his desk. Kind of ironic that he writes person of short life, coughs, dies, and then he has this little figure on the page. Now, they show this book at the Charleston Library Society one day a year on Halloween. You have to be a member of the society to go see it. But the internet is beautiful. I'm going to show you guys what the page looks like, and then we're going to go ask some questions and see what we can get out of it. Again, very brief, very short. I will be referring to her as Henry. So when she goes under, she's not going to hear me. So I want her to basically react to whatever she's hearing. Oh, what's going on with my tablet? You guys broke this too. Cool. Alright. Nope, that's not right. So here is what we call the blood book.
Wow.
To me, it's just as ironic to have the holder of brief mortality written right at the top. So, kind of a creepy thought. This is a good ending, right? So, so we're going to go talk to her as if she's Henry Timrod and see what we can get. So the SLS and infrared, I definitely want you guys filming her directly to kind of see what we get out of this. See if any orbs fly out of her kind of thing. Like, I'm looking for all kinds of things around the Estes method because it is an experimentation. Normally I would just say, alright, let's go explore the space, but when we have this many people, we might as well have a good time and see if we can get something out of it. So let's go huddle around her and see what we can get. There you go. Looks like a DJ over there. Get used to that blindfold? You figured it out?
No, what's there one?
I got more, even if you did. I bring the stacks up every night because they do tear. They are disposable. Alright.
I mean, I see something that's like.
Yeah, that's what the part that goes over your ear. So it's too high.
Hello?
You have two little holes right here that goes over your ears that we can't see. Don't put it on you. Don't put it on you. A little bit further, a couple tips. So first thing, let's huddle around everybody because the other tours like to come in here. and I want to make sure she feels safe. So cameras know what to do. But a couple of things. You don't need to shout. You're not going to be able to hear what I'm asking. So once you get to the earbuds and everything on, you're going to turn up the volume and leave your spirit box alone. So that way it's at a comfortable level for you. You're not going to hear anything I'm asking you. You don't need to shout. Whisper it. Again, most people put headphones on, they want to shout. So kind of keep it at a whisper. We're going to hear you. The other thing is I'm going to keep you under for only 10 minutes. Any more than that, you're going to feel very disoriented. You're going to feel disoriented when you come out anyway. So we're going to tap you out. I'm going to have Jerry tap your leg, so that way you're not jumping. So I'm going to time this just to make sure you're not under for too long. I'm also going to keep an eye on your breathing. If you start breathing super heavy, I'm going to have them tap you out. I mean, you're getting a little bit too much and you're not understanding what's going on, and it's okay because you're going to be all kind of foggy brained. When you come out, do not get up right away. You will fall. It is weird. Again, taking away your senses, and you're only going to be able to use one. And Jerry's like, this is kind of cool. I'm going to do this shit at home. All right, so basically you have the headphones already ready to go, which is good. I don't have to hand them to you. I would say go ahead and put your mask on first, like your blindfold.
Oh, put these in?
Blindfold first, and then those will go in. Go ahead and get used to that.
Did I put my ears in these holes?
Yep, you got it. Just wrap it around your ear. Now earbuds, and then find your volume. So you guys are all understanding how this works, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to be writing down her answers either, so that way I can stay focused. That's why we record everything.
Alright, I'll turn it up how loud?
However, whatever's comfortable for you.
I turned this one off too, right?
And go ahead and put my
No, we're only using
headphones down?
Yep, headphones down. Over out. I always give them about 30 seconds to get acclimated. Because again, there's a lot going on right now for her. So I always kind of give her at least 30 seconds. Oh, my heart rate's up. I'm at 107 right now. Okay, so Henry, welcome back. The person sitting on the bench can hear you, so whatever you need to say to us, you can use the box in her hand that has a red light. Why don't you tell us what your job was? Can we huddle around her a little bit closer? Sorry, I know I'm asking you guys to get super close. Henry, why don't you tell us what your job was? And again, Gretchen, if you're hearing anything, by all means, shout it out, because sometimes the answers go to you. Henry, it's Nick again. We got another person blindfolded here. Oh, perfect. Henry, tell us what you're hearing right now. What are we listening to? What just happened over at the church?
Does that say 1986?
I heard 86.
86.
86. Is the year he passed. Henry?
Anti-communist?
What do you want to tell us tonight? Go ahead and tap her out for a second. Maybe she doesn't realize she's supposed to be telling us what she hears. So, turn your volume down for a second.
Turn it down?
Yeah. So, are you hearing anything at all?
No.
Because we were wondering, like, you're
Pray
supposed to
for
repeat
someone else.
everything that you hear,
What?
no matter how silly it is.
What
Remember,
does it
you don't
say?
know the
Trade with
history.
someone else?
It said pray for someone else.
So repeat whatever little thing you hear, no matter how silly
I'm not
you think
hearing
it is.
anything.
Anything at all.
No. It's just a bunch of static.
I mean, you're on FM and it's running, so there's got to be words coming through.
I'm not hearing nothing.
Let's try again. Put your back up.
No, outside. What did I say? Stranger or danger?
Both. Stranger danger. Alright, Henry, let's try this again. This is Rosalie, and she is struggling a little bit to hear things, so you got to be a little bit clearer in what you're trying to tell us. You got any EMF going on at all? We've got the EMF.
High rise.
High rise. I don't know what that means, Henry, if that's anything, but we're going to continue on. Tell us what you did as a job.
A shot.
She's getting it. Henry, do you want to tell us what happened to you? Or do we want to just dive right into that? I was trying to be nice and easy. Henry, anything you want to tell us. Remember, she's struggling a little bit. You got to be clear. Anything? Who's got the EMF detector? Lala, you got anything about it? Like over there? Zeros.
Thieves.
Thieves. Who are thieves? Tell us who the thieves were. I don't know what you mean by that. You talking about those in the war? If so, what war was that in? What you're trying to show and prove
Familial relationship.
that you're actually here with us.
R.I.P. R.I.P.
All things.
All things what? We need details, Henry. These are too vague.
Tell me why.
I also noticed that people will repeat things exactly as they heard them.
Transform your body.
The word body showed up like 4 times last night. That was weird. During this
You got a
session.
body on.
Yeah, on this early, not right now, but earlier. Yeah,
I'm saying, like, during this session, the word bodies was incorporated into sentences and phrases. So, Henry, tell us what was going on with your body. What happened to you?
Roxanne.
What happened to you? Did you have a disease? What was it?
Worried.
What are you worried about? I'm learning about you, Henry. This is not prying into your life. You're a pretty famous author right now. So why don't you tell us more about your death, your disease? Show us that you're actually here.
How you doing?
I'm doing fine. You gotta tell us how you're doing. Henry,
This is not.
what?
Word.
Come on, Henry. Give us something to really grasp here.
Tom.
Somebody remember Tom. That's relevant.
That.
Who's actually here? How many people do we have? How many ghosts are with us? Watch the word list. We've gotten the answer before.
Goes back.
How many spirits do we have? Give us a number. You getting anything on that?
Radio app.
How many spirits do we have? Use the box with the red lights.
Thought. Check out.
Getting a whole lot of nothing. What do you guys got over there? Anything?
Hurry.
Hurry up and what? No readings, no anything?
Said Charleston, but
That's what I
figured.
was saying.
Answer other questions.
What other questions? You only got one more minute to tell us what you need to tell us. You know we only do this for 10 minutes. How many spirits are here?
Close your eyes.
2020.
On the ground.
Lala was just on the ground.
She said 2020 and she said close your eyes.
I heard the close your eyes.
Which sounded like you said what?
Product.
Occasional bloating. Occasional bloating.
One more term and we're going to tap her out. See what else she gives us. Come on, Henry. Last chance, buddy.
Darkness.
Okay. That's our tap out. Go ahead and tap her leg for me. Okay, so I need you to remain seated. Oh, I don't need those. So remain seated. See how your eyes got to get a little bit used to the darkness again? The name Tom, and you said something, was it goes back or was it rose back?
Goes back.
Goes back. So last night we actually had somebody hear the number 59 and then the word rose like almost immediately after. The house that Dr. Ladd lived in from the dueling story is nearby. It's 59 Church Street, and we know it as the Thomas Rose house. So again, I was waiting. I was like, I heard goes, but that's why I always ask to verify, like, did you hear goes back or rose back? Because you did say Tom, and that's the Thomas Rose house. So I would have taken that as like Tom Rose. Kind of see where I'm going with that. Kind of a stretch, but I was looking for it. But nothing that I heard specifically. I mean, the occasional bloating. I don't know that bloating is a thing with the disease that man had. So again, I'll dive in. It's doubtful, but I'm going to definitely see if it's there. Any words show up at all that are crazy that we need to know?
Oh.
Yeah. And no readings out of you, Lala, back there at all?
Nothing.
Wow. Yeah.
Just the RFP, I think I said that one.
It's very odd. Like, just based on some of the readings that I do of moon and sun beforehand, like, I was actually expecting us to have a pretty standard night. This was really light. So even with the SS method, I'm going to call that unsuccessful because there was no other relative terms. Like, you weren't answering our questions. We didn't have anything relevant to the history that these guys know. There's no readings going on. And sometimes we found, like, when we're asking questions to the person under, the answers will go to the other spirit boards. Like, we've seen that, and that's why I kept asking you, like, what are you guys hearing? Yeah, nothing. So we may not have had Henry here tonight, or again, we may have missed things in real time, which is perfectly fine. And again, you guys are new at this. You've never done it before. So, basic gist of the story, there was a writer, that's his bust over there. He went to go fight at the Civil War, but came home and had a son, and as he was grieving his son, he died of tuberculosis, because his son died very young, and then he left a blood stain on the last page that he ever wrote, and the blood stain looks like a man writing at his desk. So, again, very creepy story, so we get a lot of things out of it, but you gave us nothing. So that's just kind of the way it worked tonight. Again, I'm honest with you guys. I'm not trying to like make fun, but this was a very late night. I'm sure you guys can all agree to that. Any other major questions about your devices before I collect? Like, we're not going to explore the space because there's really nothing going on here. I don't want to waste anybody's time with it.